Can a 10,000-year-old weapon generate more destructive energy than a modern firearm? And what about a 700,000-year-old knife? Can that be as sharp as a razor-sharp steel blade? This is all stuff I think about being your average unemployed friend on a Tuesday morning. Nonetheless, I wanna find out. So, I'm gonna test 3 weapons that get progressively older and measure how effective and powerful they are.
What's more effective? Me watching my stream or getting hit in the face with a rock? For creating a dent, what do you think, chat? What's more effective, stream? The rock? Both? You think they're both equally effective? I don't know. My stream is better. Yeah.
And the first one is the sling. These things are fascinating. You can kill giants with it.
Sling this.
Allegedly. And so, I want to find out how it works.
David Goliath,
what kind of energy it generates, and then test the damage against a few targets. A sling is one of the oldest known projectile weapons, and Sumerian, Greek, and Roman armies all had specialized slingers. So...
Yo, that's cool! Wait, I had no idea. They like literally carry their rocks inside of their little dress. It's a cape, I guess. Nice. Romans were femboys!
What do you do for a living? Well, I just throw lethal rocks at people. It's pretty fun. Anyway, a sling is basically a pouch attached to 2 cords, and the projectiles you load into the pouch can be stones, lead bullets, which are actually pretty nice because they spin in the air, stabilizing the shot, soda cans,
yo!
tape.
Damn.
Alright, let's test it. To shoot, I gotta place the loop on one end of the sling, in the middle of the middle finger, load the projectile, and hold the other end of the sling. Now, there are many techniques you can use to shoot a sling, based on the position of your arm. And I'm not great at any of them. It takes a lot of practice, especially to get accurate with it. And since
that's what those Romans got paid. Got paid in bitch.
I used one just once before, I'm basically just improvising. But then, after practicing for a while, I'm now starting to get the timing down. And even though this camera angle doesn't give you the idea of how fast the rocks are actually flying, it's pretty clear that the energy generates. Well, it's a lot.
Ooh. Impressive.
To measure it, I place 2 sticks 1.3 meters apart from each other, and by shooting a projectile in between them and filming in slow motion, I can find the velocity of the projectile and also the energy from there. First, I'm throwing a 107 grams rock by hand, and following my calculations, the rock is flying at about 23 meters a second, carrying an energy of 27.7 joules. Then I throw a similar sized rock, but this time using the sling, and with that I get a speed of about 32 meters a second, with an energy of 60.1 joules. That's more than double the energy I got by just throwing the rock by hand. Now, the reason why a sling is able to generate so much more power compared to just throwing a rock is because of centripetal force. When you swing a sling, the tension in the cords and the speed of rotation generate kinetic energy, and when the sling is released, all this energy is transferred to the projectile, increasing the speed. Moreover, since the sling basically becomes an extension of your arm, it also gives you a mechanical advantage, and that's why longer slings are generally more powerful than the short ones. Lastly,
but they're also harder to wield because they're longer, you know. Also less accurate, yeah!
Tried another test with a much heavier rock, and the sling still managed to throw the rock at about 24 meters a second,
as heavy as your
which converts to 95 joules. For comparison, that's almost 20% more energy than what I could get with the lethal slingshot I built a while ago. And I believe that, with a better technique and aerodynamic projectiles, it could probably get into small firearm territory.
160 joules is already a gun? Ew.
What happens when you hit stuff with it? I started with a watermelon and of course, I missed a bunch of times.
Wish that was my head.
Damaged the sawhorse, which I actually find quite impressive. But after a few more tries,
First he hasn't hurt himself. Damn! That poor watermelon didn't stand a chance! That's my skull. After stream.
Can this kill giants though? Well, I couldn't find any giant willing to test that. Come on, man, I'm sure you'll be fine. But I found this one. This is a ballistic dummy. So the gelatin should...
That is not big enough. You need a giant's head.
...simulate
Tiny
muscle
head.
tissue. And the bones? Bones. In short, the damage on this thing should be a pretty accurate
Boners.
representation of what would happen to someone if they got hit by a sling. First, I need to hit it though.
It's hard, bro. That's why those
Spoiler,
slingers got paid.
it's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna just skip this process for you. And while I throw rocks at nothing for the next few hours, I wanna shout out this plate for supporting this video.
Oh my
I got this
god,
tree in
I'm
the shop
tripping
for a while.
out!
I
I'm
think
tripping
they still look
balls!
great. And so I got a few ones for my house too. I love watching
My-
movies, so this time, they're basically all about that. The first one is from Lord of the Rings. For me, one of the coolest shots in movie history. The second one is The Dark
A
Knight. I
Balrog
posted a picture
chat.
of Harvey Dent in one of my previous videos, and nobody got the reference. You gotta watch it. It's a masterpiece. And then the last one is from Dune, one of my
Dune.
favorite movies in recent years. The posters feel sturdy, and the clarity on the images is really good. Displate also recently launched this new product called Displate Textura, which gives extra clarity to the images by having a sort of 3D texture on the posters. Hanging the posters is also super intuitive, and you find everything you need to do it inside
Yeah, I
the
can
box.
see it
You
spin,
just
bro.
stick the protective leaf, stick the magnet to the leaf, and hang the display. And this way, you can also adjust
Wow.
it or move it however you like it. My shop has pretty rough walls, but the posters are still hanging there, so I guess it works.
Chat!
There are millions of artworks
Spiral!
available in the Displayed catalog. And you can pick from original art or licensed designs such as Marvel, Star Wars, or Elden Ring. You can get them right now by going to display.com/MikeShake
Ring.
or use my promo code MikeShake to get a really nice discount. It's 22% off if you get 2 displays and 30% off if you get 3 or more. And I'm also leaving a link in the description if you want to check them out at the end of the video. Anyways, after 40 minutes, I hit the first shot. And at first I thought I did nothing to the dummy, but then I checked the slow motion footage. My goal is obviously to hit the skull. But I feel
I don't know, man. You hit him in the clavicle hard enough, he's gonna pass out and die.
like this shot is kind of impressive
Actually, it's a
already.
collarbone,
The
not
dummy
the
is pretty
clavicle.
heavy, and the rock not only flipped it 90 degrees, but it also left deep cuts into the gelatin. And so I kept trying. In all that, I'm not
Cash
sure if you can
volunteer.
hear it, but there is a sort of crack when I let the sling go. And that is coming from the sling traveling faster than the speed of sound. It turns out a sling basically works like a whip. When the sling
This
is
is
released,
awesome.
the kinetic energy built up during the swing is transferred down the length of the sling. The transfer of energy increases in speed as it moves along the sling, accelerating the tip of the sling, called cracker, till it flies faster than the speed of sound. Now, the purpose of having a cracker is to dissipate the energy and slow the sling down, so it basically doesn't come back whipping you every time you shoot. Anyways, the more I'm using it, the more I'm becoming a fan of this thing. As you can see, even
Yeah, but how much of a difference does the longer one make, I wonder? Yeah, if you get a really long one, could you whip yourself in the ass by accident really, really hard and then, like, you know, whip yourself? Like, whoosh, whoosh, shame, shame.
if I still don't know what I'm doing, it's pretty insane to me what a simple piece of rope can do. And after about 1 hour, I finally managed to hit the skull.
Ooh! Oh, that's... Oh, look at the blood!
Oi,
That's
crack.
some brain damage!
The rock still had a lot of energy left though, and so I shot one more time.
Whoa! Oh!
And this time, I got it clean.
That's some brain damage.
Breaking the bones and cutting the gelatin once again. For the next weapon, we're gonna go back about 10,000 years. I'm
that?
talking about spear throwers. I found one in carbon fiber, but before checking it out, I'm mounting the spear, which kinda looks more like a long arrow than a spear. It got feathers, a pointy
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
tip on one end, and a slot on the other end. While the spear thrower has this sort of pin that locks into the slot of the spear, basically like this.
You
And I'm
can't
very
say
curious to
that
test this, but
word!
I probably shouldn't do it in my shop.
Mean.
So then I went outside. You know, it's actually quite easy to use, I wasn't expecting it. After just a few throws, I was already hitting the targets.
Ooh, he's really
History
good
says
at
this
it.
was actually a big step in human evolution.
Wow.
Because before using this, we were just throwing spears by hand. A spear thrower works by extending the length of the thrower's arm, providing leverage that significantly increases the velocity and
And it makes it stable. Ooh. Look at
accuracy of
that.
the spears. So compared to just using our arms, it allowed us to increase the reach, hunt larger game, and also be more accurate. Or at least, that's the theory. So let's test that. I'm gonna throw one spear by hand and one using this, and we're gonna see the difference. I hope you can see me. Test 1, range. First shot.
I mean, if they figured it out 10,000 years ago that it's more accurate with the weapon, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Shot using my hands.
Compared to, you know, throwing it manually, I guess. Wait, that sucks!
Alright, now the spear thrower.
Oh. Yo! Look at that!
Oh my. I got 22 meters by hand and 48 meters with the spear thrower. You probably didn't even see where it landed. I'm gonna give you a better angle.
Technology is fascinating, Chata.
Oh, that went further away than the last time. So when it comes to range, a spear thrower is definitely a big step up.
Ancient technology! Aliens brought this to our... Aliens brought this to us!
You now want to test penetration and damage. And well, you already know this guy. He's just not in great shape right now. So I'm gonna just use the back of the head.
He's got some drain damage.
I don't even know if I can hit it, to be honest.
He's not confident. Pull through, Chad.
Well, after a while I actually hit it though. I think I got it. But the spear did basically nothing to the skull. So then I got a little bit closer and I hit it.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Oh, nice. This would have hurt.
They know I'm watching. Chad.
What is happening? Anyways, the spear got actually quite deep. Alright, spear thrower, shot 1.
Spear thrower.
Jeez, that's definitely different.
Whoa! Oh, right through the freaking neck.
Spot, by the way. And the penetration was certainly higher than before. I also tried to hit the skull. It took me a while, and I broke a few spears in the process. But interestingly, when I hit it, the spear snapped, bouncing back towards me a little too fast for comfort. And most importantly, it didn't do significant damage to the skull. Just a little dent. Still though, I find this...
Yo, little dents matter. They add up.
Quite fascinating and very, very fun to use. It's nice. The third weapon I want to test is the oldest one of the list. And it's obsidian. Google says it's many times sharper than the sharpest steel blades.
Bro, obsidian is no joke. I saw some guy on TikTok making obsidian blades for like knives and shit. That shit cuts meat like butter. Yeah, it's true. Like, it's so sharp. It's crazy sharp.
So I want to test that. I got a machine that measures exactly that. The plan is to compare...
That's the reason that they don't use it. Is because it's really brittle and breaks easy, but it's really sharp.
Obsidian to 3 different steel blades. A utility razor blade, a shaving blade, and a chef's knife I'm gonna sharpen myself. As a reference, a high-end kitchen knife should be around 300 on the scale, and the utility razor blade scored 235, while a shaving razor is one of the sharpest blades you can purchase. And with that, I got a nice 35, also proving that the method I'm using is pretty accurate. And now it's time for the chef's knife. This is an old knife I bought from IKEA, and it's pretty dull. So I'm spending a while sharpening it with 2 different whetstones, from a medium grit to basically a polishing one, which is so fine that it doesn't even make a noise when I swipe the knife on it.
Wow. This is ASMR, chat. Am I weird, chat? I watch people sharpen knives on TikTok. Yeah, I don't know. Am I weird? I don't think so.
It took me about 10 minutes to do it, and right now this thing should be very sharp.
Ooh, nice. That's cool.
So now, as I did with the previous blades, I'm measuring the actual sharpness.
Whoa! Holy!
Jeez. I want to double check that, so I'm trying again. 50.
Wow.
Alright, I think I enjoy sharpening stuff a little too much. I'm not
Cut
sure
someone's
why.
head off.
Anyway.
That's the Spaniard in him. He wants to go on the conquest. Conquistador.
These are all the results I got with the steel blades. Now it's time to test obsidian. Actually though, what even is obsidian? Turns out, it's a type of glass that forms when lava cools down rapidly, usually when it comes into contact with water or air. This rapid cooling prevents the formation of crystals.
I want to put my tongue on it. Cut my tongue off.
And in short, that's basically why it looks like that. It feels like a chunk of glass, and like glass, it's brittle.
Yep.
So, to make a knife out of obsidian, I need to start from a larger block and slowly remove material. The problem is that all
Brother, with no hands? With no gloves on? Bro, no!
the videos I watched say the same thing. You need to
Make sure to strike the obsidian in the right
This is a video I've seen before, yeah!
areas with the correct amount of force.
And if you are like me, and you're using a mouse pad to protect your leg, and a hammer
I'm surprised he has a leg left, brother.
to strike obsidian, that sentence doesn't make any sense. I'm still trying to do that though, hitting the right parts with the correct amount of force, which in practice turned to hitting random parts with random amount of force. And after 20 minutes, I started to get kinda frustrated. Every time I felt I was kinda getting closer, then the stones randomly snapped.
You gotta practice, man. It's hard.
I really
It's
thought I was
not-
gonna make this work, but after 1 hour, the only thing I did was turn in big
Oh, sir, put some gloves on. This physically hurts me. Where's his mom?
obsidian rocks into smaller obsidian rocks. Like a lot
Oh
of
my
them.
god, man.
I
Cleaning
even
that
tried
up.
grinding it. It didn't work. Massive
Yeah.
respect for all the craftsmen making obsidian blades and all the Neanderthal men out there. I seriously underestimated this thing. And now that I had no more
a big
obsidian
skill.
to make a knife, I thought about buying one. The problem is that I couldn't find any store in Europe that could ship an obsidian knife in time,
What? Why? I wonder why.
besides this website that says obsidian scalpels. And then it hit me. Not the scalpel, but a realization. Even though it would be cool to have one of these, big obsidian knives are not even that sharp, because they're pretty thick. That is sharp. Obsidian flakes. And luckily, I got a lot of them.
Ooh,
As a reminder,
okay.
these are the results I got with the steel blades. And now I'm gonna test this, which is obviously pretty sharp. But when I tried to measure it, I only got 90. So then I got the thinnest flake I could find. But when I measured the sharpness, I got a score even higher than before. Probably because the edge wasn't very clean. Then I
No.
tried with different flakes with a cleaner edge, and things went definitely better.
45?
Obsidian is very sharp, but during my tests at least, I never managed to get results that are 10 times sharper than razor blades or my IKEA knife. Even when cutting paper, you feel more resistance compared
Well, I mean, for a prehistoric million-year-old technique, I'd say it's sharp enough, huh?
to the steel blades. Still
don't
though,
know.
it's pretty cool, and I'd like to make a knife out of this one day. Next, I'm gonna make a very special sword, and then I'm gonna finally test my supersonic Nerf blaster. So if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to see when they come out. Thank you for watching.
No, you have to be a craftsman to make that kind of stuff. No. I think he just didn't have time, nor the time to get the technique down, but Mike Shake, everyone! Very cool guy! Watch his stuff. I like his accent.
Fire, fire, fire.